It's 6 p.m. in the evening. Come on in for this recap. Let's talk about 90 Day Fiancé. Hi, I'm trying to come up with an intro song. I wanted to have like a churchy vibe, you know. It's 6 p.m. in the evening. Come on in to the room. Let's talk about the show, yeah. I don't know what else I did. So I have to rewind this to like listen to it. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. I like that. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. Let me write that down. "6 p.m. in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about. I wish it could rhyme. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about something that rhymes with a day. And talk about. It's 6 p.m. in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about, I guess, 90 Day. Okay, let's just do that. Let's just keep that preliminarily as that. But then I also want to say something like, as per usual, we get started 5 minutes in. Oh my God. Thank you, Quasi. It's time to talk. The other way. Oh, where have you been all my life? How can I get together in life? How is it that I'm surviving this world without you, Mickey? How have I lived thus far this entire time of my life without you? Okay, it's 6 p.m. in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about the other way. Hey, thank you. Other way. You're gonna get writing cred, okay, Nikki? Thank you. And then, as per usual, we're gonna wait 5 minutes in. Oh, okay, as per usual. Okay, recap doesn't actually start until 5 minutes in. Lyrics for that. Like, how do people write music? Like, how do people write music? How does Adele do it? You know, how did Amy do it? Is what I'm asking you guys. Come on. Okay, end with that. End with the other way. Okay. Wow, because this channel I found a family member. Oh, so don't be late. Okay, wait. Okay. It's 6 p.m. in the evening. It's time to talk 90 Day. And we're here to have a kiki and talk about what did you say? It's almost, we have another 50 something seconds to come up with the words. Just off the gate. I like that one. Oh my God, I'm late. So don't be late. I like that. So okay, let's talk about, and we're here to have a kiki and talk about the other way. Don't worry about it. You won't be late. The show starts 5 minutes in. So don't worry about it. You won't be late. You won't be late. We're all here. The starting gate to start at 5 minutes in, and then we all win. I'm gonna get this together. We start after 5 minutes, so don't be late. Okay, wait. Write that down. We start. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of a 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way. This is season 3, episode 4. Don't know the title, but let's jump into it. All right, you guys, as per usual, no super chat. If you would like to donate to the building fund, if you would like to donate to the uterus fund, you can go on ahead and check the information that's scrolling down here and go ahead and give me Cash App, PayPal, whatever you want to do. As I said before, it'll be taking too much of my money, so I can't do it that way. But let me write down these words. I'm trying to come up with a song that I could interchange. Like, it's the same rhythm, but I want to make one for Love After Lockup as well. Great. Okay, set the date. Okay, great. Okay, we start 5. We start after minutes 5. Okay, let's do that. That makes sense. Minutes 5. So don't be late. So don't be late. Okay, and then set the date. I'll write that down too because it rhymes. Set the date. The date. Okay, great. All right, guys. Where did I take notes? On my phone. I did. Took notes on my phone. Get ready to melanate. Oh my God. How have I survived this long? Get ready to melanate. Even though it doesn't make any sense, like it still rhymes and I love it. It's like melanate and marinate. Quasi, how have I survived this? Guys, how have we survived this entire time without Mickey in our lives? Okay. All right. So let me see. I don't have any new pictures because I wasn't at home when I watched this episode and I wasn't in the mood to get up and take a picture of the TV screen in order to do it. As you guys know, if you guys watched Chris's live yesterday, she and I went live to talk about this show. And I basically said everything that I had to say in that live. So this is going to be pretty quick. Let's start out with these two. I never start out with the juicier ones up front. But you guys are here. We're all friends. Let's start out. 58 people in this room. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, you guys, and share on any social media platform that you deem fit. Let's jump right into it. First couple that we are going to talk about are Ginny and Sumit. Okay. So this is what we discovered from this segment. That Sumit has some kind of either A, arrested development, B, failure to launch, C, mental anxiety, where he's so overwhelmed that he becomes paralyzed, overthinking, or he has all 3 of those things, 1 or 2 or 3 or all. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't gotten his passport. They've done, okay, so here's the timeline. Jenny and Sumit are still not married, right? And we start out this episode with Jenny being pissed off and throwing a chair. First, straight out the gate, throwing a chair, pissed off at him. You're not going to do this. You're going to marry me. You're not. Literally, she was yelling at him. Didn't cuss at him. If it would have been me, I would have been like, you son of a, you dad. No, she didn't do that. She's like, you're not going to have me here. You're not marrying me. Throwing a chair. So this entire time, I have been in defense of Sumit because I said to myself, guys, Americans, hey, Americans, Northern Americans, that includes the Canadians as well, you know what I'm saying, and the Mexicans, if you are a Northern American, hey, Northern Americans, it's not fair to judge this man based on cultural things that we truly do not understand. We don't know what the ramifications are if he were to go against his parents' wishes and just marry Jenny. Are they funding everything? Because you know that his parents paid for his divorce. They paid for his wedding that they forced him to get married to. And then they paid for his divorce because of the kerfuffle that it made from it. So we don't know what it would mean for Sumit to go against his parents. And also I was thinking that it was just such a huge cultural faux pas that unless he wanted to run off to the US and completely be independent of them and not have them in his life, which might hurt him so deeply in a way that I would never truly understand as a Westerner. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm going to give him leeway. So he had Jenny go to see a lawyer, go to see a visa person, go to the temple to be a devotee, do all of this stuff because he said his father-in-law had his passport and wouldn't return it until the divorce was finalized. And now when he went to get it, it was lost. So this entire time we're like low-key thinking, like, why isn't he going to get a new passport? Like why isn't that the easiest and like the most simplest choice? Because if he gets the passport, then he's going to be able to go to Nepal every 6 months with Jenny so that she can do this for 10 years because she got a 10-year tourist visa. She just has to leave the country every 6 months. So they could do like a little Nepalese vacation, 2 weeks, and then come back, right? It turns out that the reason why this fool didn't have his passport is because he just didn't do the research. When it finally happened and when he went to the man's office who looked like a federale. I mean, that man looked like he was trying to take over Cuba. Did he not? That outfit was real serious. It had a lot of stars. It was like he was the general in the Indian army. Okay? Sitting in that desk, sitting in that like basic square white walled room, looking like he was trying to be the dictator of a small European / Caribbean / like somewhere I'm not paying attention, like South Pacific country. Just like General, I don't know, General Admiral Patel. It was really like over the top for a visa specialist. So he went in there and the person was like, do you have proof that you live here? And Sumit's like, yes, we do have proof. And the man's like, great, just go online and fill out some documents and we'll get that to you. We'll have an investigator come out to your house, make sure you really live there, and then you're good to go, okay? You'll get it in like a month. Bye. And I'm like, bruh. And then Jenny has a conversation with him outside afterwards. And she's like, see how easy that was, babe? And he was like, yeah, it was very easy. And she's like, yeah, sometimes I think you just overthink things and you get overwhelmed. She's like, me, when I think about doing something, I just do it. I just figure out what I got to do and I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? You overthink things and it becomes overwhelming and then you don't. It's kind of like you just stand still. And he's like, yes, very much. And I was like, oh, Sumit wants a mother, a mama. And Jenny is there's some real Freudian-ish going on here. I mean, you is a grown ass man and you couldn't figure out how to get your passport. I mean, thank you for the entertainment. Thank you for entertaining us for the last 3 episodes. Was all that necessary? It wasn't. It wasn't. Mika says, I feel like if Sumit really just can't marry Jenny because of his parents, then he just needs to tell her, I will never marry you unless my parents agree, and then let her make the choice. Exactly. And so that is what Jenny ends up saying to him. She's in a very calm voice. She's not yelling. She's not demanding. She's not doing anything like that. She's just like, Sumit, at this point, you have got to either marry me or tell me that you're not going to marry me because of whatever, and let me make a choice and I'll just go home because I'm not going to do this with you. Again, my thoughts of like, why do you need to marry him? Like, why is that so important? You're already living together in the sinniest of sins. His family already recognizes you to a certain extent. They come on TV to talk about how much they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like we see next episode, the mother is like, she can't come to any family functions. And I'm like, regardless of if he marries you or not, you're still not going to be accepted by the family. So why is it truly so important that you get married? Unless there's some kind of immigration situation that I'm not aware of. Like maybe if something happens to him, right, and she's not married to him, like her whole life will just explode and she'll have to just go back with nothing. Like maybe there's other things going on, but all I'm like is like, why do you need to marry him? Why is that so important? I don't understand that intrinsically in my spirit because they don't have kids. They don't pay taxes together. So I don't quite understand the real reason, besides the fact that she just wants to. And if that's the case, that's fine. And if that's what her level setting is, then okay, I just need to know that. I need to know, I need Jenny to say to the cameras, I want Sumit to marry me because it legitimizes, in my mind, legitimizes us as a couple. And until then, I don't feel legitimate. And then I'm like, okay, girl, I feel your feelings. I feel your feelings. Jessica, it would help her visa, but really the solve is she has a 10-year visa as a tourist. So all she has to do is go on vacation twice a year to Nepal and come back. So it's like, there is a solve for that. Like if all I had to do, if I had moved to a foreign country and they were like, if someone were to bring somebody to the States, right? I were to bring somebody to the States and they got a 10-year American tourist visa or whatever, right? And I didn't want to marry them for whatever reason. And I'm like, babe, all we have to do is go to Canada on vacation twice a year. Mickey, I would be right there. You feel me? I would just go visit people. We have plenty of people from Canada right now who follow. Like, like I would just be in Canada. Toronto is beautiful. I've never been to Vancouver, but I hear it's great. There's a lot of places you can visit. Quebec, you know what I'm saying? I would just go to Canada twice a year, come back. Done. And it's like, then I don't have to do all that. Anyway, so I really like the way Jenny said this to him, and Twitter went crazy talking about how like Jenny's just gonna, be dead by the time Sumit actually finally marries her. But I root for them. I root for their love, and I want her to give him that ultimatum. And I really want her to give him dates. Like Chris and I talked about this. I was like, she needs to give him dates. If we're not married by October 31st, I'm booking my flight and I'm leaving. And I'll book my flight for January 1st. I'll stay with you a while. We'll spend the holidays together. And then I'm going home. And then that'll be the end of our relationship. And I just want her to do that. Like, I just want her to do that. And she did it. And I'm happy for her. And I feel good about the situation. So let's move on to the next couple. I just really thought it was a smart move for her to just like calmly say this to him and really make him understand that his not wanting to do this or not feeling comfortable. Because it's like he wants to shove Jenny down his family's throat at family functions, but he doesn't want to marry her. And I don't understand that. The mother's like, we won't accept this. I feel like his parents are also like, I feel like his parents are low key like, we're not going to accept him, Sumit, we're not going to accept Jenny Sumit. So make a choice because you're not coming to these family gatherings. Okay. We don't want to have these conversations anymore in front of these cameras. So in fact, I want his parents to divorce him. You know what I'm saying? I want his parents to just be like, I don't even care. Get out of here. All right, next couple that we're going to talk about is Victor and Ellie. And you guys, everybody wants to talk about how crazy Ellie is, but honestly, I understand her so much. So the very first scene we have with her is she is in the shower making interesting sounds. And I said to myself, Matt Sharp, entertainment. This is not Love After Lockup. We don't need to see a scene of somebody coming out of the shower or going in the shower. Why was that scene? Like, why would she agree to that? If the cameraman was like, the producer was like, okay, so just to go ahead and take a shower, we're going to record you. You're going to be mic'd up while you're trying to get into the shower to take a cold ass shower. So she's in the shower and she's like, ooh, okay, I'm just gonna hold my breath through it. Okay, okay. And so I'm like, girl, it sounds like you're doing other things in that shower, ma'am. Who are you in there with? And so I just put shower and orgasms as my first note. Because I was like, this scene was so necessary. And then she comes out of the shower, she's got a towel on. So it's like mad awkward, you know? Not that she should come out naked, but like naturally she would have been naked. So what is the purpose of this scene? Somebody tell me what the purpose of that scene was. It just doesn't make any sense. That scene was so stupid. So she is like, ooh, well, it's better than caffeine. And we're like, okay, girl. So, what is it? 600-pound life? I'm sorry. I shouldn't be paying attention to the comment section. I do apologize to those of you guys who are not watching this live. I'm paying attention to the comment section. They ain't making no sense over there. So next thing we have is her. She goes to La Tienda, to buy some ropa. I don't know if that's the right word. To buy clothes. And it's a store that has a lot of shirts that I would like. Okay. I guess I'm into tie-dye. I'm noticing a trend in my life. I like a pastel situation, but I'm definitely into tie-dye. Chris made fun of me for it. And then I looked in my closet when I got home and I was like, you're right. I do have several items that are tie-dye. I have a one piece that's tie-dye. I have a crop top that's tie-dye. I have a dress that's tie-dye, but I can't wear it because it's a large and your girl is no longer a large. She's an extra large. And it looks like I am a stuffed sausage. But when I get down, I'll be wearing that dress. It's cute too. So, so she's buying some stuff. And at first we hear, $467 and we're outraged. And then they do the math for us and it's $22. And I was like, girl, why do you spend so much money on what? On t-shirts? She was like, I don't want to have to wash for the next 2 weeks. And maybe that makes sense, right? Because she doesn't want to have to like, maybe she's not buy a washing machine or whatnot. But I'm like, you just gotta like, right? And then hang it out. Because here's the truth. When you're in places that have a high humidity, clothes don't really never get dry. Okay. From experience, they don't never really get dry. Even though it's hot outside, the humidity in the air makes your clothes just a little damp and smelling like a little sour, which I absolutely hate. So she bought new shirts. Maybe she hates that damp, sour smell. And so she was just like, I'm just going to buy a bunch of new shirts. And I just take one off and throw it away. Take one off and throw it away. So she speaks Spanish, which I really liked. And listen, it wasn't a lot. But from that little bit, it made my heart go pitter patter, because you got people like Corey, or you got people like Matt. Is that his name? Mark. And you're just like, oh, so you just came to this country with no Spanish? Now, Corey has a little Spanish, but Corey doesn't even try. Corey's like, gracias, muchachas. And you're just like, stop speaking Spanish, just speak English. It's too bad. Like, it's a hard, bad Spanish. So she goes back to her hotel. She's still really worried about Victor, doesn't know where he's at. And here's the truth. This woman is going through a personal trauma at this moment. And there are producers and cameramen following her around. And they are wanting to have conversations with her about it. How many times do you think that they have had a conversation with her from the time she got off the plane to the time she got back from the store? Like in that 17 hours of however long it was. How many times do you think they've had conversations with her about how she's feeling? I'm just like, if it were me, I'd be like, we're going to do this in one take, and you're going to only ask me these series of questions one time. Okay? I'm very sad. I don't know what to do. I'm at my wit's ends, and I am confused. Scene, take this mic off me. Okay? So she's doing that. She's having this conversation with them. And they're like, how are you feeling, Ellie? And she's like, I'm just really nervous. Like, I don't know. I just don't even know what I'm going to do. By hook or by crook, I'm just going to go find Victor. And I'm like, wow, this island must be really small. Or her American spirit is just like real strong. For her to think that she's just going to go to an island and find this fool. A devastated island. Like, what was she going to do? Just like lift up planks of wood, just like take a ferry over to the island and just be like, with her flashlight combing, Victor. She has no idea what state he's in. Was she just gonna like dig through rubble looking for him? And listen, I admire it, but I was like, what exactly is your plan? And she's like, I have no plan. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I admire you going there to find your man. Okay. I absolutely admire that. But I feel for Ellie because I know what it's like to be desperately lonely and to have had so many different tragedies happen. Well, I don't know what it's like to have so many different tragedies in my life, but I definitely know what it is to be lonely. And then on top of the fact that Ellie has had the tragedy of her husband dying unexpectedly, her mother dying unexpectedly, her father dying of cancer fast. And she just feels like she has lost those pivotal people in her life. I mean, she still has her friends, but those pivotal people, those rock, those cement, those foundational people are in her life, all were taken from her very quickly. And she's reeling from it. And she's had a hard time opening up her heart because of it. And even though this man has cheated on her, she's still like, I cannot waste time being mad at him. I cannot waste time being mad because I don't know if he's going to die or not. And I'm going to regret not just doing this, regardless of if he cheated on me. And I understand her 100%. I understand it. I get it. I see it. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, at this point, I'm just like, I've said it before. At this point, we're just watching a grown woman make decisions. And I'm not going to judge her for it because I don't know what it's like to be her. I don't know what that is like. So then she's talking to them and her phone makes a chirping sound and she looks down, like she goes to pick it up and it's Vic. And she's so overwhelmed, so happy that she's like, oh my God, oh my God. You know, I imagine like her brain is like firing off all kinds of like synapses and like all like my mind would have had exploded. I would have had to lay down afterwards. I would have broken down crying, you know, and they got that on camera, but it would have been not time for the camera. He calls her, he's like, hey babe. And she's like, oh my God, I didn't know where you were. I thought you were dead. I didn't know. Like, not that she thought she knew he was okay, but she didn't know how she was going to find him. So she just like is now all of these things are coming together and she's really happy and relieved. And she says that, you know, in this moment, you guys, the nightmare is over. And I'm just like, I felt so good for her. I felt so happy for her. So she finally gets this like break of luck, this like sunshine through the clouds. And so she gets in a car and goes to see him. She's quiet in the van, and producers are again in her face asking her how she's feeling. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed. I'm feeling a lot of things right now. I'm like, can you just let this woman be in this car? Like, can you just let her? Listen, her production crew is going to piss me off. They're going to make me mad. If y'all don't leave this woman alone. If y'all don't leave this woman alone, let her have all her feelings. You know what I'm saying? Just leave her alone. Don't ask her no more questions. Girl, I had to stick up for Ellie, even though she didn't know I was sticking up for her. But the whole time I was like, no, leave her alone. Leave her alone. She sees Vic. Vic has a questionable mustache situation. It's a beard mustache situation I do not like. He has all of this and then not this. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't like it. Anyways, that's just my fast take on that. He's really grateful to be alive. He was huddled underneath the kitchen sink in his sister's house, and him and his mother and his nieces and his sister. And I just think it must be the scariest thing to ever happen, especially because it turned into a Category 5 at the last minute. They weren't prepared for that. And it devastated the island. And so the one light good thing is that Ellie is there to be with him and support him through this, to have like a partner go through this with him. And they're kissing each other, and the camera people won't go away and just let these people kiss and live their lives. Again, it was a little Love After Lockup-ish, you know, like we didn't need to see all that. Let these people live. And so it looks like we're foreshadowing for next episode that she's actually gonna go see Providencia, and it's going to be bad. And she's gonna be like, wow, this place was really devastated. Okay. Next couple that we're going to talk about is Evelyn and Corey, wherein we see Evelyn allow her sisters to disrespect Corey to a level that I thought wasn't necessary. Now, is Corey being cheap? Is Corey being low-key kind of rude about the fact that Ingo Bao prices and what he wants to spend on this wedding? Absolutely. He really is. There's no excuse for his behavior. Jasmine, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. I just see it right now. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I don't know what my sound maker is, but thank you so much, Jasmine. I appreciate it. So I think the opening scene, let me get my notes out. I think the opening scene is them having sopa with the sisters. And then the sister, it's just like, it was just so corny. It was just stupid. So, oh no, we start off back in Miriella's like wedding dress shop. And she tells her sisters that her and Corey have already been married, and it was due to visa reasons for him to stay in Ecuador. And after immediately she started bawling, crying, and she knew it was the wrong choice because she felt like this, you know, her family takes marriage so seriously, and that there's no such thing as divorce, which is why she doesn't want to get married. And so she says that even though her and Corey have been fighting and she knows that things aren't the best, she also feels like she's been with him for such a long time and she does love him and she wanted him to stay in the country. And so she just did it. And she wanted to keep it quiet because she didn't want her family to know in case she wanted to divorce him. And that way they wouldn't know. Also, she stated that her and her family are so close and they literally celebrate everything. They celebrate any and everything that they can together. And for them to have a secret wedding and not allow their family to participate and to celebrate with them would have been like a huge blow for her family. And I was just like, wow, that's a lot of pressure on people, especially on me, because I'm definitely somebody that's always trying to moonwalk out of a situation. Like my cousin came to my house today and knocked on the door too hard. And I looked out the window to see who that was banging on the door like the damn police. And I was just like, oh, I'm just not going to answer it. And I was busy, right? I didn't have time to entertain him. However, I also was just like, I don't have time to entertain you. You can't just show up at the house. Like my parents are like retired, right? But they're not here right now. So like there's nobody here to entertain you, son. And I got things to do. So I'm not gonna be answering the door. Okay. So I'm like, I would hate to be I mean, I would love it for the camaraderie part of it, but to the point where I can't have little victories without telling my family and then them being upset because they want to celebrate with me. Like, I don't need to be celebrated. We don't need to celebrate everything all the time. Sometimes this introvert just wants to be alone, you know? So, anyways, I think it's still a sweet sentiment. I'm not saying the family's bad or wrong, but I'm just saying just to not have a moment where you could just like do something private, especially like a really quick wedding you just did to keep somebody in the country is not even like for real. So her sisters are pissed and they're like, you're stupid. You're senora estúpida because you went and did this thing and got married to this person. And then she says, the problem is that I said I wanted a break. And so was like, she's the said, I wanted a break from Corey. But I guess Corey was so hurt that his wife wanted a break from him that he went and acted a fool in Peru. And we know that he had sex with Jenny. That's the big reveal, that it went more than just him not being able to get it up. And so now I'm like, oh, okay, he's a cheater. Like, you married this person, and I don't care how heartbroken you were. You made a commitment. So did she. She wanted a break. That didn't mean that you guys were not going to get back together. And until you had that conversation, you sleeping with other people and hanging out with other people and putting it on social media was a huge breach of your contract. So it's like they're both wrong, right? So this is a wrong situation. But then she tells her sister, both of them, about this. And then the next scene is them eating soup together and them shaming him publicly with bull penis soup and just giggling about it. Like, it was too much. It was like, then Corey wants to confront the sister and is like, do you have a problem with me? What's your problem? And the sister's like, I have many problems with you. You married my sister. Yes, she told me. And then you cheat on her. You go to Peru and cheat on her with someone named as Jenny, this Jenny person. And the other sisters are just like, co-signing everything. And Evelyn's just like, sit back and just like looking at him, like tapping her foot. And he's like, you told them about our private lives? Like, you told them? And she's like, yes, I did. And then that's where she's wrong. So it's like they're just all being wrong. It's just like wrong, 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 wrong. And none of these wrongs make a right. None of these wrongs equal out. None of them. None of them take them back to zero. It's just like different levels of wrongness. And it's like, if your relationship is mainly built on how you can just wrong each other at every turn, why are you in this relationship? It's too toxic. It's toxic to watch, honestly. It's like, it's too much. They're just bad. Oh, I didn't know she cheated. Did she cheat? Even if she did, though, him cheating doesn't make it right. It doesn't negate. It doesn't make them even. Like, it just looks stupid. It just looks stupid. So, sister speaks very good English too, both of them, which I was like, yes, I love it. I love that they're like conversing, and that makes me. I love it when people like speak English, and I know it's their second language. Like Elena, I'm like, you guys are so smart. I've been studying Spanish for all of my life, and I can't get it together. So, bravo to you. So the sisters are kikiing about him eating bull penis, but I'm like, men eat bull penis in their culture, like as a way to like test themselves. This is a soup. They didn't have it specially made for him. They didn't say, hey, make the crab soup and take the crab out and put penis in. They didn't do that. So I'm just like, why is this whole thing of like, ew, this is so disgusting? Like, this is somebody's cultural food. Like, yeah, maybe it's not something you want, but I didn't like the way they presented it to him, like, you're eating a penis because you are a penis. So I didn't like that. But, you know, whatever. People do whatever they want to do to keep a storyline going. So sisters asked a question about Jenny, and he doesn't want to answer it. And Evelyn's just tapping her toes, waiting for him to answer. And I said, this kind of gang mentality, like if anything was an indicator that he shouldn't be in a relationship with Evelyn, this was the moment. Nothing that happens in their relationship is going to be private. He's going to always have to feel like her sisters are going to be all up in their business, or going to have some kind of say in what's going on. Like, here's the deal. Unless Corey is physically abusing or mentally abusing Evelyn, there's no real reason for there to be family intervention, because all it does is cause chaos. All it does is cause chaos. So I just didn't like that segment as normal, but let's move on, because I don't want to spend any more time talking about these people that are annoying. Oh, come on, Kenny and Armando. Look at them. So cute. I didn't expect to cry during this segment. This sneak attack, it took me out, and I didn't know what was happening. So first scene we have is that they're going to Armando's family home, and they're loading into the car. Cassidy and Hannah are getting along very well, and they're like stepsisters. And there's such a crazy age gap, and it's so cute. Stepsisters, it was giving me those vibes as well. Like, Hannah's like, Boochie, and Cassidy's like, what are you making me say? What are you trying to say? But I just thought it was I just think Hannah's so precious. I love her, and I love the way they dress her, and I love the fact that Cassidy just fit right in. So they take a 4-hour drive to Armando's hometown, or where his family lives, and there's a lot of trepidation and worry and anxiety that his family isn't going to accept, or no, more specifically, his dad isn't going to accept Kenny, because the last conversation or interaction wasn't that great. And so on the way, he's prepping for the things he's going to say to his family and how everything is going to be okay. And they get there, and everyone comes out of the house. They all surround Armando with so much love, and Kenny with so much love. They're saying their hellos, they're giving their besos, they're having their abrazos. And then Armando asks, hey, is my dad here? And the mom's like, no, he went to the store. And I was like, oh, that's the best you could come up with? Meanwhile, his dad is just getting the mic put on. Because the dad comes out what feels like 5 minutes after the mom just lied for him. And Armando does say something about it in his confessionals. He says, my mom tried to cover for my dad, but then he ended up coming out. So at this point, I don't even care that that's what happened. And I'm just like, okay, great. I'm happy for that. But the dad came out and hugged his son in the most sweet manner. I mean, hugged him, held his head, gave him kisses, rubbed on his head, and was letting his son know that he loves him, even though that what is being presented to him is something that is a very, very hard pill to swallow for him. And in the culture, right? And so it made me cry. And then the mother was like, okay, we have other guests too. He's like, no, I'll get to them. And let me just finish hugging my son. Then he hugs Cassidy. He gives Kenny a whatever hug. And then they all sit down to eat. And it's this food. God, I love Mexican food. You wouldn't know the way I'm making Chinese food these days. Chili oil is my shit. I got Chinese, Korean, no, mainly Chinese food these days. So they're eating, and there's a time where Armando could be giving out this information about their big boda, but he doesn't, because things are going so well, and he feels like if he adds this in, it will kind of change the tone of the evening. And I agree with him. I don't think that Armando should be forced to do anything that he is not comfortable doing, unless it's to the detriment of Kenny. And I don't think that it would be to the detriment of Kenny if his family doesn't know they're having a big wedding. I'm not sure, but I just am let him do it in his own time. He knows his people more than we do, right? So the way that the family receives Hannah too is they miss their little girl. They miss that little girl. They haven't seen him in a year. And so Cassidy sits down. They're all eating, and Cassidy breaks down crying when they start talking about how much they miss Kenny at home. And the mother starts to cry because she's like, I'm a mother and I understand missing your children. The daughter starts to cry. It's a whole moment. Everyone's just crying. I'm crying. Chris is crying. We're all crying. We did not expect this to hit us this way. We did not expect to see this love. Like, at least I did it. And you know what's funny is that Chris or someone else was like, y'all, Kenny will cry at a drop of a hat. And I was like, I missed that from their inaugural season. So I don't know that about him. But it was just so emotional because it was so much love in the air. Love is love, y'all. Love is love. So I think we end up with just them like hugging and saying goodbye. I think that's what the end of the conversation is. And Kenny feeling a little bit of a ways that Armando didn't say what he needed to say. But I'm happy for everybody. So that's just the way I feel. Kenny also apologizes that his Spanish isn't the best as it should be. And it's just like a good moment. It's like when you want to see like, this is like what 90 Day Fiancé should be. Just like good, clean love and fun. Okay, next couple that we are going to talk about, let's talk about it, is these two fools. Okay, so in this segment, we've got Ari getting ready because she's going to take Leandro is what I think his name is. I think this man's name is Leandro. She calls him Lander. And regardless of she just saying his name so fast, like Lander and Leandro, like, please call me Leandro. Like, don't call me Lander. So both of the boys are in the living room on their phones, and Ari walks up and is just like, are you guys just sitting here quiet on your phone? And they're like, yeah. And then so Ari's like, yeah, okay, Leandro, let's go and get some coffee. Bye, Benny, bye. And so they leave to go get coffee. And so Ari asks Leandro, like, well, so what do you think of Ethiopia? What do you think of my house? What do you think of just my whole situation? And Leandro's like, well, it feels weird, and you don't seem that you're super happy, and that, you know, you seem homesick. And she's like, no, I'm not homesick. I'm real happy here. I could have another kid here. And he's like, then why am I here? You basically told me that you were homesick and sad, which is why I'm here. So like, come visit you. And she says, well, you know, I really don't think that Bini understands like what it is to be married. And I'm so happy that I was married prior to this because I know how hard it is, how much hard work it is being married. And like, Bini just doesn't get it. And when she said that, I said, girl, you just got out of a 10-year marriage. Why would you tell this? Why would you tell Bini you're going to marry him and he's not doing the things that you need him to do? She thinks that if she just stays in Ethiopia and loves on him, that he'll just wake up one day and be the thing. And I'm like, you know what? It's a lot to get a good partner. And I'm not saying that Bini couldn't be one, but I don't know what being a good partner in Ethiopia is. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if the same sort of Western idea of love and support and all of these things is the same, right? Because it's all social. So what might constitute a good husband in, say, India may not constitute a good husband in the US. And I think a lot of times you get that, and especially generation to generation as well. Like, I don't know what it looks like to be married in Ethiopia. I only know what it looks like in the US. And I know it's hard work because you've got to compromise. There is no blanket, well, he's the man, so he makes the decisions. That's not everybody's, story. So it's just like, they come from two different cultures, and this man will just get up and leave her at home at night. To me, it is crazy that any person who brings an American, let's just be specific, because if I'm putting all the onus on the American to like do their research and figure out what country they're going to and how they need to behave, I feel like I should put the onus on the foreigner as well, the non-American as well, because if you recognize that America is a different beast, and if you're getting an American person and you're dating that person, you're going to have to understand that they're going to have a culture shock too. And at no point during the first 5 years, 2 years, not 5 years, 2 years of them living in the same country, your country, are you to ever just get up and go hang out with your friends. I don't care. No, you don't get friend time. If your spouse doesn't have a friend, then you don't get to go hang out with your friends because you are all that they have. And if Ari is correct, And Benny just kind of goes to the studio and then it's just like out doing whatever, not bringing in any money, but just out. My nigga, if you are not out making money, then you need to stay your little house cat ass in the house, okay? Use as a house cat right now. You need to be in the house with me. Because if you going out there isn't you buying something for me or like buying something for the house or making money, where is you going? You better build you a little studio in this back hut or whatever, like this shed or something, but you don't need to leave. And I'm not saying forever and under house arrest, but I'm saying like at the rate at what he must be doing to make her so upset at night when she's by herself. Sure, her best friend is the nanny. Why is her best friend the nanny? The nanny could be a friend of hers, but her best friend shouldn't be the nanny, especially with the way that his sisters treat her. I don't listen. Ari has done some things that are inappropriate, but the way his sisters treated her is rude. They're rude. And the way he allows it is rude. It's the same thing with Evelyn and her sisters. It's like you're just letting your family come in. And maybe it's a Western thing or an American thing to be like, no, your family is not going to be in the middle of our marriage. Because it never works out. If you're trying to have the kind of marriage I'm thinking of, it doesn't work out to have your siblings involved in your marriage. It is just, you're right, Mickey, there must be, but I don't know that. Who knows? And also she has a kid. So, and she's been pregnant a lot of the time. She was there too. So even if they did have like a social thing for English speakers, it's not like, I don't know. Like I'm like, unless it's like, on Tuesdays I go out with my social club and hang out. And then on Wednesdays you go out with your friends, but we spend the majority of the time together. I'm not sure, but I just think that he shouldn't leave her alone as much to the point where she's feeling however it is that she's feeling. Not that she's right for bringing Leandro there, but he's wrong too. So Leandro tries to like tell her that this probably isn't the best thing. And she's just like, honestly, like, you being here, she said something like Leandro being there, it finally solidified for her that her and Leandro would never get together. So even though she was planning on marrying Bini and had this man's baby, there was still something in the back of her mind that was like, I'm just gonna end up with Leandro. I'm gonna end up with him. And it wasn't until she saw him and she realized that, like, maybe I guess the allure, the luster, or the brightness of him being her ex-husband / best friend kind of dimmed a little bit. It's like it took you disrespecting your husband or your fiance and bringing this man to Ethiopia for you to realize that, oh, yeah, I guess I'm not going to be with you anymore. So weird. So she's worried about Bini and his communication skills and his stupid mistakes. And when she said that he makes a lot of stupid mistakes, I was like, girl, get out of this. He's too young. Like, whatever. I'm like, I can't have a build your own husband and they're not, I need them to be ready-made. I mean, the stupid mistakes? No, none of those. I don't have the patience for it. But he must be really young. I don't know how old he is. And obviously he's babied a lot. So this is why I think that that he's babied a lot, because it's a holiday. It's an Ethiopian Orthodox holiday. And it's a holiday, something with Jesus Christ and the disciples, and they create a bonfire and burn sticks. Burn a like stack of wood. And a bundle of wood. What am I saying? A bundle of sticks. I don't know words. So that's what they're doing. And part of it is like jumping through the fire. And so they get together. Sisters are in traditional garb. His older brother is there. Two sisters speak English. Elder brother doesn't speak English. Bini barely speaks English. And we have Leandro and we have Ari there. And his sister Wish uses this opportunity to attack Leandro and attack Ari. And Bini sits back and lets it happen. And if on anything else alone, that situation would have made me pack my bags to leave. They really do think that by badgering the shit out of Ari and being rude to her and being rude to her guest and inserting themselves in their relationship and in the house that Ari's family pays for, that's going to make Ari stay. I'm sorry, do you not understand the amenities that Ari has in the US? She has her parents' house, love, support. She has her friends. She could have a life. She could go play bingo on Tuesdays and trivia on Thursdays. She doesn't have to have the nanny as her best friend. She has her siblings. She has her nieces and nephews. So you think that you asking her whether or not she's planning on taking that kid and leave, or why she spent 2 days in while pregnant. She wasn't married to Bini, but it's like, I guess in their mind, she's pregnant and she's just gonna let her ex-husband just I was about to say something really, really graphic. Because I'm just like, what could they possibly be thinking? Like, she's already said 3 times that her and Leandro didn't have sex. And even her argument was like, oh, you think I would have sex with somebody else while I was carrying your baby? And I would thought to myself, like, what does that have to do with anything? It's your body. If you want to have sex with somebody else, even though you're pregnant by someone, like, what? Unless you're in a relationship with that someone, what is that? Why is that the argument? Like, and then also, I guess there's this idea that if a woman's pregnant, her having sex is like taboo, or like the penis is just going to be bumping the baby in the head. And it's like, no. So in their minds, Leandro and Ari stayed together in New Jersey in an apartment together, and they were just bussing nuts together, just sexy everywhere all the time. Like, that must be what happened. Even though she did get back on a plane and come to Ethiopia to be with Bini. Now, don't get me wrong, Leandro being there is crazy and disrespectful. However, their reaction to attack Leandro and say that, oh, you don't do things traditionally, and oh, is she gonna leave, and what's her character is already suspect. Everything that you are doing is going to cause this woman to take her child and leave. There is no reason for her to stay here underneath your tyranny, especially if Bini isn't doing what he needs to do to satisfy her soul. Are you kidding me? He already lost 1 kid. You would think that he would literally do everything in his power, including shut his sisters up, to protect Ari so that she wants to stay there. In fact, he needs to go out and find her some friends. Like, it is crazy to me that this is the choice that they want to do. It's baffling to me. It is baffling to me. There's the disrespect that Ari received, and Bini just sat there. I was so disgusted with him as a man in that moment. I was like, oh, you're not a man. You and Sumit are the same energy, the same little brother. I don't really do anything for myself. Oh, woe is me. This happened to me in my life. The other American woman, she left and took the baby. And I'm just like, oh. They're like, oh, you're American, so you're just going to take the baby and leave, as is her right. That is, I've never felt more American, and I've never wanted to defend the American more than in this situation with the sisters. And that's how you know pissed I am. That's how pissed I am. That I want to defend the American? It was uncalled for. It's like, your brother has a roof over his head and isn't living in a hovel because of her family. Flower says, I don't really think he loves her. She is a trophy for him. Look at these women that he is picking are kind of, oh. They spent a lot of money on that first wedding with the first wife, and he still messed that up. It's like, get it together. You know, these American women will leave you. They don't have any reason to stay with you. They don't have religion to stay with you. They don't have culture to stay with you. They don't even, whatever comforts you think they have in Ethiopia, it's not enough for them to stay with you. Like, unless I was with somebody and we was on like a tropical whatever, and I lived in one of those huts on the water, like, everything is better back in the US. For me. Not to say that it's actually factual. I'm just saying I wouldn't stay there unless it was like a perfect ideal situation where there was air conditioning when I needed and warm Caribbean waters when I needed. Then I don't have to do anything. I'm going home. I'm going home. Nah, sorry. Sex with another man while you're pregnant by another is a bit Jerry Springerish. No, I disagree. Not if you're single. I mean, if you're in a relationship, obviously. But if you're single, what? Okay. Um Next couple is, oh, I mean, how long do I do? How much time left do I have? I have 6 minutes to talk about these fools. Okay. So let's get through this. Steven's plane lands in New York City. He has nuts for the road. And then we pan over to Alina's family. Alina and her mother and her grandmother are in the living room, like having a moment before they before they leave, so they could have like this time sitting together in silence. The mom is pissed about this whole situation. And then Alina tells her on the ride to the airport that Steven is staying in a hostel and not staying in the apartment. And so the mom is like, no, 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 no. I need to talk to Steven. I have to talk to his ass because I don't think he understands what peril he's putting my daughter in. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your foot down and you're going to tell him the things that you need. And you tell him that I said that he promised me that he would take care of you. And him staying in a hostel is not him taking care of you. So he better figure it out, or I'm going to be in Turkey looking at him in his damn crazy face and asking him what he's doing. Okay? So you make sure that you tell him what it is you want. Don't ask. Don't compromise. You tell him what's happening, and that is it. She's like, yes, mom. Yes, mom. And I said, okay, I'm here for all of this. I'm here for every moment of it. I support it 100%. 100%. So she tells her daughter to make smart decisions and don't put herself in any danger. Um, I put she can't speak English in the airport. I don't know why. Maybe I put like, oh no, when she was in the airport, she started speaking in Russian, and I thought to myself, maybe she's too tired to like figure out how to speak in English, because sometimes she goes in and out of it. Where some confessionals are in Russian and some confessionals are in English. So like maybe she's just like, listen, I'm tired of thinking in this other language. I'm just gonna go ahead and speak in my native language. So she looks like him and her get to at the airport around the same time, or maybe like she has to wait around for him a little bit. But they meet up. Steven rudely drops his bags in front of everybody, slowing down traffic to give her a hug and lots of kisses. He talks about how cute she is. He's really annoying, and I hate every moment of it. They get to the apartment. He's even annoying there, looking at everything, talking about how great it is and how cool it is. And it's only because he's trying to convince her that she's going to be safe and okay living in that apartment by herself. And she's like, no. Are staying in this hotel with me. And as they're driving to the hotel or to the apartment, she's like, that guy looks suspicious. That looks crazy over there. I don't feel comfortable living by myself. He's like, I told you I'd stay with you the first night. And she's like, you're going to stay with me the first night and forever. That's period. That's on it. That's on what I say. So they get to the apartment and he sleeps on the couch, but then he wants to have Bible study to talk about that because Stephen really, really, really believes that he's not going to be able to control himself. And even then, I think to myself, but you don't think she's going to be able to say no? If she knows that it's really important to stay virgin so that you guys can get baptized in the Mormon church, which my question is how they're even going to know that y'all was living in sin. But okay. So you're so hell-bent on doing something and being whatever that you think that you're so sexy also. You think, Stephen, that you are so sexy that when you get that urge, that she's also going to get the urge. And then y'all both won't be able to stop each other. My thing is like, no. Alina is very clear on the fact is if we need to stay virgins for 90 days, then we're going to stay virgins for 90 days. Unless you rape me. Like, trigger warning. Unless he attacks her, there is no way. If she says, I'm not going to have sex with him, then they're not going to have sex. It's like he acts like once he hits a certain threshold, he's just like a pumping bunny and he's not going to be able to turn back. Don't feed into that. Just because you're male does not mean that you don't have control over yourself or your libido. Like, it is just very weird. It is very weird. Mika, I agree with you. It's very suspect. 100%. So, he sleeps on the couch. The next morning, he comes out of the shower And he's like, "Oh, I'm wet. Can I give you a hug?" And I'm like, "Go put a shirt on." No, I don't need to skinny shame him, but like, it's too much. Shirt on. He's like, "Can you pick me out an outfit, one that matches yours?" She picks him out an outfit, and what does he do 5 minutes later? Jump into a whole pool of water. No, I don't like Steven. He gives me anxiety. He is like calamitous. He just makes rash decisions. She thinks it's cute now, but it's not going to be cute forever. And I think she's starting to realize that. And I don't want her to marry him. I don't know how else to say it. There's not a nice way to go about it. He's not going to change because he doesn't think anything is wrong. His mother has let him be that person. Why should she change him? She's not marrying him. She's just his dopey son who wants snacks before getting on a plane and then having to go to the bathroom and brush his teeth. Like, this is a man who who goes to get a cup of orange juice in the middle of the day and brings the whole bottle of orange juice with him to have a conversation with his girlfriend. And I'm positive that once the cameras were off, he drank out of his cup like this. Steven seems like the kind of person who's literally just by himself, like, just being weird, being corny. Somebody put in yesterday's live, I think it was Lupe, corny and horny. Was that you, Lupe, yesterday? Oh, you did. Corny, horny. Yeah. Like, it is just ridiculous. That's how I imagine him. That is how I imagine this person. I don't think that he is like, I mean, just annoying. Like, who wants that? It's one thing if you're like in high school, but he's not in high school. Sorry, I'm just gonna do it again. One more time. So anyway, she has a very serious conversation with him outside of the hostel about him not staying with her, and she's like, "Well, maybe you don't want me to get baptized in the church. Like, maybe you don't not serious about this, the fact that you don't think you can control yourself." And she's like, "The temptation isn't if we're in the same space. The temptation is like you not just saying, us just being like, no, we're not gonna have sex." It's just so stupid. She's like, "Makes me doubt if you want me." You promised to protect me, Steven. And then she's still waiting for the next thing to happen, which is her friend and the Facebook message. So she still doesn't trust Steven. So here's the truth. She doesn't trust Steven because she feels like he wants to talk to other women. He jumped in the pool like a buffoon. He wants to stay in separate rooms because he's worried that he's going to rut himself like on top of her and not be able to stop himself from rutting. He's also lying to her because he's not a virgin. He's been like skiddly dooping, what do they call it? Scoodle pooping all over Utah. And he used the word scoodle poop instead of sex. And why would you add poop anywhere near sex? Disgusting. So there are too many red flags to even name. Like, everything from the way he dresses to the way his hair is to the way he drinks orange juice. It's just annoying to me, and I hope that she can see past it and doesn't think that he's gonna grow out of it one day. I mean, he might, but what if he doesn't? And that's the scary part. All right, you guys. That's it for this recap. We went a little long, but yep. What is this? Marianne, tucking is similar to a guy saying he just wants to give you a back rub. Yeah, you want me to tuck you in? Like, what the hell does that mean? Get out. We're not gonna have sex, so get out. What are you gonna do? Tuck me in? Okay, scoodle poop. No wonder why he can't find an American girl. The way he talks and acts is ridiculous. Fire. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit. I will see you on Wednesday for my show with Chris Farrah. Oh, Jacqueline, thank you so much for the Cash App. Thank you, Jacqueline. I always, when I see the name Jacqueline, I always say, first of all, I always say Jacqueline. I don't say Jacqueline, because that's another thing people say is Jacqueline. I say Jacqueline. Also, I also think of Jay Quellen. Jay Quellen. You mean Jacqueline? It's Jacqueline. Anyways, you guys have a fantastic day. What is that? Poop and sex should not be anywhere related. Oh my God, Marianne, is so true. Oh. All right, you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Chris and I were going to go live talking about Say What. Oh my God, there's 150 people in this room. Hey! How y'all doing? Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next week, or see you guys on Wednesday, okay? Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday, and I hope you come back on Friday, and then I hope you come back next Sunday. I hope all these things happen. Oh my God, Pink Jeep Kiki, you are very late.